Afternoon, good night. How you doing? This is MCM and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Today we are going to have a serious conversation. Well, maybe not a serious conversation, but there's going to be a serious talk happening here. Now, of course, I'm only doing the talking, but just stay tuned. How you doing? This is MCM and you are listening to You're Probably Right podcast. Before I start today's episode, I wanted to let you know, remember, you can email me to let me know what you think about the podcast. You can send in requests for maybe answers for me to answer if you like my opinion at all. Or maybe topics you want me to cover. I'll be happy to do so. I've been getting a lot of emails for people who want to collaborate. But the only thing is, it's like I don't feel like they're genuine. So what I would say to anybody who has reached out or tried to reach out to me to maybe collab on an episode, which I've never done, or those who think they want to be on my podcast for whatever reason, make it genuine. If I feel like you're sending me something that you've sent to 2,000 other people or more, I'm definitely going to recognize it and I'm definitely going to ignore it. I'm not going to even gratify it with an answer. So just letting you know, I know that people are doing all kinds of marketing schemes and bots are more prevalent than ever before through AI. So I'm just saying, if you do send me something, please make sure it is, I wasn't going to say, I'm going to say handwritten. It better be personal enough for me to realize that you're a real person. That's all I'm going to say to you. All right. Anyhow, so today's episode is 233. Is he the man and you don't even know it? Or for a guy, because I kind of switched it, it was, are you a man and you don't even know it? No, sorry. Are you the man? Obviously, you're a man. You know what a man is. Okay. Anyhow. But anyway, for inclusivity, but not the inclusivity that they speak about these days, I'm just saying I've called it, is he the man and you don't even know it? Or maybe doesn't he know it? Anyhow, let's get into it. Some men don't know they're lions. They don't roar. They don't hunt attention. They're not sharks in a small pool. They just walk through the tall grass like they belong there. He might not have abs, or he might. He might not be able to lift 300 pounds, or maybe he does, easily. But when he walks in a room, something shifts. Not because he's loud, not because he's wearing bright colored clothes and peacocking, or different clothes, but because he's anchored in something and you can tell. In a world full of men chasing clout, chasing attention, trying to be the man, there's a different kind of man who's not even online like that, not even trying to attract attention like that. He's calm when others lose it. He speaks when it matters and others don't know what to say. He doesn't need applause. He just handles business. That man might be the one you're sitting next to right now. Sitting to. I got my glasses on, y'all. And even if I've created this, it's still, sorry about that, guys. I could cut it and do it all over again, but I'm not going to, because as you know, I just keep it real around here. Okay. Not because I'm lazy, just because it is what it is. And I'm a person, you're a person, and we're having a conversation. Unfortunately, I'm the only person talking right here, but you're still a part of this, and I'm speaking to you. No matter what you're doing or where you are, what walk of life you are in, whether you're male or you're female, whether you're old or young, I'm just hanging out with you, okay? I am MCM, and this is You're Probably Right podcast, and I'm just here chilling with you. It's episode 233, and I'm going to get right into it. So basically, the thought process behind this episode was just, sometimes guys don't know when they have a good thing going. And they try too hard unnecessarily, when really if they just sat back and just, kind of take a look, if they could, an outer body experience to see what they are bringing to the table and who they are, they might not stress as much as they do. Anyhow, here we go. Segment 1. Emotional control, power under restraint. And the best example I can see before I even read this, because the segments are short anyways, but have you ever seen when like a big animal tries to carry their young, or how gentle they can be? There was something that I shared on my Facebook channel page, and it's a bear. And I've never seen this in all my life. I didn't know that bears actually carry their young on their back at times. And I had to look twice. I was like, wait a second, is this AI or is this real? I have every reason to believe that that's actually real, and I just never saw it. I watch animal shows from time to time. I like the wild and all that stuff and what happens in the wild, especially lions and tigers and bears for whatever reason. But this sow, this bear, it was a grizzly, was carrying 3 of her young on her back, trouncing across the river that was obviously too strong for them to make it across on their own individually, and also she could lose them, so they're all on her back and she's going through the water. And I thought it was the most amazing thing of how something so huge and so powerful could be so gentle enough to know how to run across a river with the 3 young on her back. Or have you ever noticed when like a dog or a cat carries a young, and we know how strong their bite can really be. They could easily snap a neck, but they're able to just cradle it so gently. Something with so much power can be so gentle at the same time. Anyhow, quiet confidence, no bark, all bite. The loudest man in the room is usually not the most secure. He's usually the most insecure, the one that has to monopolize everybody's time, the one who has to make sure that everything is said just so, the one who is generally not listening but more speaking, trying to teach everyone, whether you are a subordinate or whether you are higher than that individual in, say, a job. The real ones, they move like they know who they are. Quiet confidence. They may not say much, but when they do, people tend to listen. Except for those who are trying to be the loudest in the room. Sometimes they'll pretend like they didn't hear them say anything at all. But you know who they are. You know who you are. It doesn't make you want to be one of those people who are like asking for attention, but you command respect. And as I said, when you speak, people listen. He's not explaining himself or overly explaining himself. He's not bragging. He just does his thing in the right way, in the best way that he knows how. That stillness, that silence, it speaks louder than most men ever could. Somebody who has purpose, someone who is being real in any given situation, and they're not just displaying something for you to be attracted to or trying to show that he is the man. He knows who he is, and he is him. But sometimes those same guys, oblivious, and sometimes they have the confidence, but sometimes it's like they have an imposter syndrome where they're like, wait a second, am I being too confident? It's like they've done all the learning, they've done all the listening, they've done all the work to make sure that they are as self-aware as they could possibly be. But for some reason, sometimes these guys still are not sure. segment. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I read that out of order? I did. All right. Well, we'll make segment 1 number 2 for a second. Hold on. I was going to say the trials and tribulations of live radio. But anyways, I'm not going to mess this up. I'm just going to make number 1, number 2. Okay. Power under restraint. Real men don't explode. They respond. Emotional control isn't about being robotic, isn't about being cold. It's about mastering your reactions, not being mastered by them, not letting your emotions carry you away. Sorry about all the noise upstairs, guys. There's, I don't know, whoever built this place. But you're mastering your emotions. You're not carried away by them. There is a level of stoicism inside of him, but at the same time, he does have a heart. He does care. Whether it's an insult, a crisis, or a woman trying to test his frame, if he can stay calm, think clearly, use reasoning, and lead through the storm, he's already standing above most, way above most. This is strength in its rawest form. He's not a jerk, but he's just the person who has a refusal to be ruled by impulse or emotion. Not that he doesn't have impulse, and not that he doesn't have emotion, but he doesn't get ruled by it. Number 3, protective instincts. Not just muscle, but mission. Protection isn't about being aggressive. It's about being aware. A man who looks out for his people, whether it's his mom, his woman, or a stranger on the street, he's moving with purpose. It's not about being violent. And trust me, sometimes there is a place for it, but not very often. And he's definitely not looking for it. It's about being ready to step in, to speak up, or stand firm when needed. Women feel it. Kids feel it. Even other men feel it. That might not be the guy to mess with. This instinct can't be faked. And if he has it, you know, if you spend some time around him. Number 4, self-respect. Standards, not swagger. He doesn't have to wear a Gucci belt or his favorite pair of Jordans. He doesn't have to drive the nicest car. He doesn't have to own those things that says he is. Now, he may have a nice car. He may wear a Gucci belt. He may wear Jordans. But this isn't what or who he is. He is who he is. And it's in his standards. It's in his self-respect that you see this. Now, sure, the shiny, colorful things that he has might draw attention to himself, which is fine. But it's who he is that really attracts and keeps people wanting to know more, wanting to be in his space, wanting to have a conversation, wanting to hear what he has to say, because there is just something about him. A man with standards doesn't have to say it. His actions make it clear. They speak louder than any words he could probably utter. And when he does speak, you can tell there is great thought and substance behind those words. If he walks away from what insults his peace, that's strength. If he says no without guilt, he's already out of the game because he knows why he's saying what he's saying. 5. Attentiveness. It's not soft, it's just present. Real masculinity is tuned in to the people around him. He notices the small stuff. He knows when his son's hiding something. He picks up on what his woman, isn't saying. He holds space for his people. Not that he's a mind reader now, because sometimes people expect him to know everything without communicating. But no, he's present. He's there for the conversation. He's there for the correction. He's there for the communication. He's there to give, and he's there to take. Being attentive doesn't make a man weak. It makes him trusted. And trust is currency. You can't lead if you don't observe and know your surroundings. You can't protect what you don't notice. So he might not be the guy who's ready to push the guy because he touched your chair and he's sitting behind you at the movie theater, but he is the guy that if the other guy sees him, not because of his stature, not because of his muscles, because he knows that he will do whatever it takes to protect who he's with. Segment 6. Physical strength. And I just added this one. He doesn't have to be a beast, but he shouldn't be fragile. This isn't about six-pack abs or gym selfies, because eventually he's going to stop going to the gym, or he won't be in the gym. And eventually, if he has a six-pack, it's going to sag. It's about presence. It's about the energy he carries. It's about being capable. Even if he's not strong today, he's training, stretching. He's moving his body. He has the willingness. A man who avoids all physical challenges is telling the world he won't be ready when the time comes to act. Strength is more than muscle, but muscle matters too. Not because it's sexy, but because it's useful. And it's a promise that if things go left, he'll be there. All right, now for the time that everybody is always waiting for. Segment 7. 20 signs he might be the man and you didn't realize. He stays calm when things get tense. You ever have a guy around you when everything's going haywire and he kind of stops you, like in a movie or something where everything is going at 100 miles per hour, and because he holds onto your arm, all of a sudden it's like you two are in regular motion. Everything else is in slow motion. Now he's quieted down the hustle and bustle around you. Or at least that's the way you feel, and you're able to focus. 2, he listens more than he speaks. He's a guy who will take in the information that you're giving. He could be that shoulder to cry on, or he might be that guy who will say, after he's listened to what you have to say, don't forget to lock your door. He takes in all your information, and he might even answer the questions that you have, but he doesn't force his opinion, but he will listen. 3, he doesn't overshare or try to impress. Now, it could happen that at times he overshares, probably because he's excited. He could possibly, but that isn't his regular way of being. He knows how to be quiet, and he does know how to share, but he doesn't overshare. It's not his regular everyday thing. 4, he knows when to walk away. When he sees that things are fighting against his very peace, or if things are getting totally disrespectful and it challenges the who he is in a way that it isn't positive and it's destroying him, he'll know when to walk away. 5, he protects without controlling. And not that he can't move you here or there physically if he had to, because we're talking about physical there, but at the same time, he knows how to be assertive without being controlling. He still allows other people to be who they are. He doesn't try to be overreaching or try to engulf and swallow people whole. He allows people to be who they're going to be, but he isn't scared to interject where he needs to interject. He's not scared to lead if he has to lead. He just does it because he knows that's who he is and that's part of who he is. It's part of being a man. 6, he makes others feel safe, not intimidated. There's some guys who not only do they intimidate other people who come around him, but he also intimidates the people that are with him. So they're scared to be themselves. That's not what I'm talking about. 7, he respects time. He respects your time, and he respects his time. 8, and this is why he will show up on time. Unless something came up, something happened. It won't be a regularity with him. I guess all that creaking upstairs gives the podcast character. Whatever. At least you know it's not a, what do you call it, AI bot just talking to you here. 8, he has strong boundaries. There's certain things that he will not cross over. There are certain things that he will not allow on his watch, as they say. 9, he doesn't flirt for sport. It's not just like throw a bunch of lines out there and see which fish he catches. No, he's very purposeful. He's very intentional. So when he catches a fish or tries to catch a fish, that's the fish he wants to catch, per se. 10, he stays loyal even when no one's watching. And that was something that many guys, I myself, had to learn it. You know, a man has to stay loyal, not because of what other people are looking at, watching him make moves. It's just he realizes that life has ebbs and flows, has mountains and has valleys. And if you wait a while, you'll bump into one of those things. And things will change for a time, for a season. 11, he works out. Not to show off, but to stay needy. Now, I understand that not every guy has time to work out, but he's not scared to work out. He probably has a desire if he's not. Or he tries to work hard when he does get physical, knowing that it is a necessity for a man. Now, I'm not speaking about somebody who's depressed or grieving, and unable to function normally. But a guy who's just a regular guy in a regular situation, regular walk of life, realizes that there is an importance to get fit to stay fit. 12. He makes decisions under pressure. He doesn't just, I don't know. No, he's going to make a decision. And he's not going to be double-minded about it. Once he's thought it through, once he's figured it out, he's going to say, let's go that way. And he'll have reasons behind it. It won't just run that way. That's it. No. 13. He doesn't gossip or tear down other men. It's not his thing. Now, I'm not saying he won't compete with other men. It's not that he won't even make a comment because of some guy code. No, he just doesn't sit there tearing down other men, even if they are his competition in many cases. And the guys who try to destroy other men in other people's eyes, watch out for those guys. Obviously, that guy is insecure. And it's not only that he doesn't want to lose you. 14. He mentors younger guys. This guy is the one who is willing to teach if there are those who want to listen. He's not somebody who's going to hide all of the trade secrets to be selfish or to be the only person that anybody can look to. He's going to impart the information, but he's going to do it in a way that doesn't come off authoritative, demanding. He's going to pull a guy aside and impart the knowledge that he's learned and that he was taught himself. He's going to be giving. He's going to be free-handed in certain ways. 15. He holds space for grief or struggle. So he understands these things are a part of life. He can be affected when things get rough, when grief comes. But he doesn't let it hold him there for too long. And you'll always, even if it is holding him longer than it should, you'll always see signs of life with this guy. He will always be underneath, raring to go, to get a move on, to get back on track. 16. He doesn't let disrespect slide. Now, it's not that he's going to start a fight. It's not that he's going to start swearing down the place, as they say. But he will address things that need to be addressed. And he'll know the difference between something that needs to be addressed and something that he can let go. And he doesn't hold on to it. 17. He learns from his mistakes without making excuses, and he will admit his mistakes. He doesn't try to glaze over it. He does get ashamed when he steps badly, but he doesn't take himself too seriously not to be honest. 18. He doesn't chase status or clout. He realizes that, yes, it is what it is, and I am who I am, and I am trying to learn. I'm trying to be better, but not for status and not for clout. 19. He supports strong women, and he also supports weak women. 20. Finally, he earns trust slowly. Just watch him. And as he earns that trust, he tends to keep that trust. Why? because he's real. Closing thoughts. He might be the man and not even know it, but the people around him do. They lean on him. They lean into him. They listen to him. They feel safer when he shows up, even if they don't even want him to do anything. Just his very presence makes a difference. Don't downplay that. Don't waste it. Grow it. Protect it. Walk in it. Because being a man isn't about talking tough. It's about being solid. It's about being tough. But it's not about being tough or talking tough. It's just about being who you are. You're probably right. The real ones don't need to announce it. They just are. Anyhow, y'all, we're going to wrap it up here. 31 minutes or so. Thanks for coming out again. This is You're Probably Right. I am MCM. Remember, if you have suggestions for the show, if you have questions you want answers to, hit me up at YPRpodcast@gmail.com. Also, remember, I do have a website, but it only has a couple things on it. Right now, I am thinking of starting a blog on there to blog about some of these episodes in a different way for those who like to read. But we'll see how that goes. Anyhow, again, take care. This is MCM signing off. Peace out. Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, well, very few topics off the table, hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere.